Hello, I'm Assistant Commonwealth's Attorney Dan Laren here once again with the case of the week. With me today is Assistant Commonwealth's Attorney Lori Bowling, who works with our collision reconstruction unit and deals with a lot of cases that involve DUIs and drug driving. Lori, can you tell us what the difference is between drugged driving and other forms of this offense?
Well, everybody is familiar with driving under the influence of alcohol, but you can also be under the influence of other drugs, which can seriously impair your driving. One of the ones that we've dealt with in this case that we're going to talk about today, and in lots of our cases here lately, has been marijuana. A lot of people don't realize that when you smoke marijuana, it will affect your driving. They just don't see it as that kind of a drug, but it does seriously impair your depth perception and your ability to judge time, space, and distance, and so it can seriously impair your driving ability.
So did you have a recent drug driving case here in Fayette Circuit Court?
Yes, I did. It was Julie Reese is the defendant, and she was indicted for reckless homicide based on an incident that happened June the 24th, 2011 at a park here in town. She had gone there with her three goddaughters to the park to play. They were leaving, and as they were leaving, the 12-year-old wanted to walk to the end of the parking lot, so she allowed her to do that. The 15-year-old and the 9-year-old were in the car with her. And as Sierra, the 12-year-old, was walking along beside the van, she reached over to get the handle, and at that time the defendant thought that it would be funny to just pull off a little bit to kind of tease her, and she didn't realize that she had a hold of the door handle already, so when she pulled off, it jerked Sierra under the car, and she was run over, and she died.
What about this case made it a criminal matter rather than just being an accident or a collision or a civil sort of suit?
Well, the hospital drew blood. When the defendant went to the hospital that night, the police requested blood, as they can on any case that involves a death or serious physical injury. It's in your implied consent on your driver's license that the police can ask for a sample of your blood, and they did that in this case. And her blood came back with marijuana. She had marijuana in her system at a relatively high level. Marijuana leaves your blood system very quickly, so if they find that much a couple hours later, then you can pretty much know that you were impaired at the time. She also admitted to the police that she had been smoking marijuana before she went to the park, and that she actually smoked marijuana on a daily basis. That, along with the horseplay, for lack of a better word, of playing the little game with her, that kind of behavior led this to be a criminal charge.
So how did the case progress through the court system here?
She was indicted on reckless homicide, which is a Class D felony. It has a penalty range from 1 to 5 years. She was appointed a public defender to represent her in court. She ultimately entered a guilty plea in this case and was sentenced. She entered a guilty plea to the 2 years that was recommended by the Commonwealth, and she was sentenced to that 2 years. She did not ask for probation in this case, even though this charge is probatable or probation eligible, and we fully expect that she will ask for she will file a motion for shock probation, which we will oppose.
I'm Assistant Commonwealth's Attorney Dan Laren with Assistant Commonwealth's Attorney Lori Bowling. This has been the case of the week.